Give us a sense of what's happening with the pandemic right now in your community.
The general consensus that I'm picking up is that it's more complicated than the lockdown was, because now you have to make choices. Parents have to decide if they're going back to work, but do they have childcare? Some of the schools or the public school system is partially open in a progressive way. So everybody's faced with choices that they didn't have to make a few weeks ago.
What is God teaching you through this?
I'm trying to take more time to pray because there are a lot of things that we cannot do with the social distancing, with confinement and things, and yet God can. God can work. I sometimes think that I overestimate the impact of what I do and underestimate the impact, God's impact. And so through prayer, just asking him to work at a time when now it's very, very clear, there are certain things that we can't do. Well, what are the things that he wants to do? Maybe that, he's been waiting for us, to ask him to do.
In terms of learning more of connecting with the Lord and his word and making it my own, not in the terms of using it for ministry, but really letting it become part of who I am. And that's a takeaway that, I want to live in every day, is just loving the Lord, abiding in him, appreciating him, making him my greatest joy. The more I grow in that way, the more I see too just how amazing the living word, Jesus, is, but also the written word, just the breadth and depth and of the word that we've been given and how it addresses different situations. So, as I grow in my own relationship with the Lord, I want to be able to convey that to the people around me in a way that makes sense to them.
Have relationships or community changed with where you live?
Now, people will actually say hello to each other on the street. I mean, people who don't know each other. So for me, it's become kind of a game, as we're walking down, I'll say hello, just kind of see what the reaction is and things, because now it's permitted, now it's accepted. And I think, in a sense, because of the isolation, some people are actually craving more interaction. Mm-hmm. And so even with people in our, we live in an apartment complex, and so people that we've seen or crossed, but have never really talked to, it's given us some opportunities to talk to them. It's really changed the dynamics and broken down some barriers, some walls, I think.
What do you hope changes because of this crisis?
One of the things I'm doing now as I interact with people is try to listen to their stories, to hear, so that I can understand and speak well of who God is in my life.
I'm hoping for a greater openness with our French friends who don't know Jesus, because religion is one of those taboo subjects, like politics and money, and but everybody's been shaken. I mean, it's turned the world upside down in a sense, because at least the French world, because the means of security, the things that everyone depends on, are government, the medical community, the scientific community, and they couldn't do anything about this. My hope is that with this, it's really going to cause people to reflect. Okay, well, what can I count on? And that might create, to orient people toward the possibility of God.